Hi everybody. How you doing? Um, Welcome to Fred Hampton Leftists. My name is Afeni, and co-hosting with me today will be Unholy Rome. So it's going to be very interesting. We have a bunch of different topics to talk to you guys about today, and yeah, I'm just really excited to get started. So first, we are going to. Well, first, Rome, how are you today?
I'm all right. I've been doing a little bit better. Just trying to get ready for Seattle. Collecting all my thoughts and getting all my good looking clothes.
Well, yeah, you know, Rome's doing the tour for the poor, y'all, so definitely keep an eye out and make sure you donate. But yeah, so the first story that we're going to talk about today is going to be about the First Nation graves that were found up in Canada. So go ahead and cue up that article. So the Cowessess First Nation was an indigenous nation in Canada, and they found 751 unmarked graves around a residential school that used to be for indigenous children. Um, so like this is just one showing of just how the global um, white supremacist oppression of indigenous people is has been erased in so many different ways. So the fact that we're just now finding out about this, and we're probably, there are so many different other things and different other cultures that we don't know because of how they've been erased. It's just very shocking. So, yeah. How do you feel, Rom?
Yeah. This is the thing with Canada and people from Canada. They actually believe. Like I have personal back and forths with people from Canada that speaks on American politics. It's not that I am a nationalist and I don't want them in our politics. Is that they have a lot of shit in their own backyard to clean up before they even come over here. Like y'all are y'all are the foster child for whitewashing, like automatically. Like if you was to talk to a random Canadian who have no, like they have no fucking excuse me, you know what I'm saying? They have no education on this. They have no thoughts on this. They probably don't even give a fuck. But because this is how these countries were founded, and if we were to actually do anything about it, their lives would change for the worse too. You know what I'm saying? For man, these countries are built on white supremacy. These same people who want to throw it and cash it to the side, they benefit from it. And I doubt that, you know what I'm saying, that they even give a fuck behind those tweets and Facebook posts when they say, "Oh, look at all these colored people we just found. Look at all these," you know what I'm saying, unmarked graves. It wasn't unmarked graves. I'm sorry, some those were murders, and somebody was putting them dead bodies there. You know what I'm saying? Because you cannot legally, nobody can remove a headstone. No, nobody can remove a headstone. No matter how big and bad you is, that's a lot of fucking time, nigga. And like, look, our land are literally built on the fucking backs of these people. You know what I'm saying? The blood. You know what I'm saying? The, our land is literally built on top of them. And I always used to crack this joke back in the days. Uh, why does America go through so much bullshit? Why does Canada go through so much bullshit? It's like this country was built on some type of, Native American grave site. It's cursed like it's built on top of a Native American grave site, in which it is. Which it is. But I'm gonna let you go ahead and take that back, Feeney, because you know my ass. I'm just trying to get in the mood. I ain't gonna lie. I just got done working out, so I ain't in the work right headspace.
So I would just say this: the complete and total disrespect of Indigenous people globally is something that we really need to talk about. Even down to the Palestinians, like they're Indigenous people whose land are literally being stripped from them, and we're watching it systematically happen.
Yeah.
So if we can imagine the brutality and see how the Palestinians are being treated in real time, imagine the brutality that Native Americans and not even Native Americans, like natives and indigenous people of this land and of, land of Northern America. Um, think about all of the things that they went through. Think about all of the wars, all of the cultures that got stripped from them. They had to be literally, they were institutionalized. The AP reports about the AP in their report wrote about how these schools were set up and what they were actually meant to do. These schools were meant to indoctrinate and assimilate
Yeah.
indigenous people. And one of the biggest arguments, and I mean, one of the biggest problems that I have with, the way that these schools are set up is the fact that people still to this day, especially Canadian people, especially American people, will tell you that we did this for the betterment of the indigenous people. We did this so that way we could, make them less savage, so we could actually turn them into real functioning human beings. To what standard? To what standard? Especially considering that black people taught white people how to wash their ass. So who's the real savages? Was it the people that have their own culture, that created their own culture, that cultivated their own culture? Or are the savages people that can't bathe and that only know how to get things
But see,
through
this
violence?
is the thing that they don't want to teach. You know, these things in history that they don't want to teach us is how we actually taught these people our science, our math, their language. You know what I'm saying? This is the type of things that will break down the not only the white image but white pride in itself. And as I put up on Twitter, it got a couple of people panties in a bunch. That yeah, it's gonna it's gonna make white people more hated in this country, which the truth does. I mean, I can't sit here and say, hey, don't hate these people, but that's just what's gonna happen. I mean, white people hate us because of lies, because of propaganda. Think what happens when we tell the truth about, you know what I'm saying, what white people really put uh, uh past generations through. Do you think that kid's gonna be like, oh well, that's old, blah blah blah? Man, some people still feeling some type of way, and I know that you personally don't have anything to do with this. You don't, but guess what? This is why you know what I'm saying, I had made a video in like 2018 or something. I was like, I feel bad for white people. You know, they got to grow up in a world where there's almost majority, you know what I'm saying, brown people in this bitch. They got to grow up in a world where their parents were racist and taught them dumb shit. And now everybody around them is colored. I feel bad. You know what I'm saying? But we gotta teach. We just gotta teach. That's all it is. And white people don't feel, you ain't gotta feel no guilt and nothing like that shit. You know what I do? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know there is some stereotypes out there. There is some stereotype black man out there. I just try to be the opposite of it. Don't be a fucking white liberal. Don't be a white this. Don't be a blah blah. Don't be what they made you to be. You know what I'm saying? Just teach your people and get the fuck on, man. Critical race theory, all this shit, it all go hand in hand. And if you really a leftist, you know what I'm saying? If you really about this shit, then you gotta be ready to teach and you know what I'm saying, be ready to get out of your fucking bubble, man. Cause man, ain't nobody about to come to you with motherfucking gloves on, like, oh well, yes, your history is bad, but I still love you. No, a lot of people gonna start to hate y'all, and that's just the truth. It's just the truth. That don't mean we're gonna beat y'all ass. That don't mean anything is gonna happen to you. The truth just hurts to a lot of people, and we got generations that miss this truth. So once it hit us, it's gonna hit us hard. And sometimes you're gonna have to give a nigga time, man. You're gonna have to give a nigga time to take all that shit in.
Yeah, I mean, I think that one thing, that I can't help but think about is, reparations and what that would look like for not only Black people, but for Indigenous people as well. Um, Reparations is a global conversation that needs to be had with all these
Mhm.
white ass colonizing ass countries. It doesn't need to just be America. It needs to be every single of these fucking countries, all these first world countries that wanted to bomb other countries during World War I and World War II. They're the ones that need to go ahead and open up their purses. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing, for black people that it is for indigenous people. The diaspora was messy. We all know that, that would be a global conversation, but it definitely we owe indigenous people of this land and of all of the lands
Yeah,
their money and their value for what that land is.
yeah,
Like their culture has been stunted, their generations have been stunted, their people have been stunted, and they have also been systematically erased.
yeah,
So we need reparations not only for the initial harms, but the continuing harms, the compounding harms in which these groups go through. Um, so, I just, like you were saying, like it's very important that we teach the right history. It's very important that we have a very full understanding of what this history is. And, I'm maybe a little more idealistic than you, but I would say that one thing that I can say about Black people, one thing I can say about Indigenous people is we always lead from love and compassion.
yeah,
We always, in all of our movements, we center love and compassion and radical empathy because we know what it is to struggle. Our cultures are born out of struggle.
yeah,
Our cultures are born out of, having to constantly assert yourself
yeah,
into spaces and create space for yourself and be compassionate and understanding as we do it. We
yep.
juggle that, we balance that. So it's less about, necessarily hating white people. I already hate white people, regardless of, whether or not they put the whole story out or not. Like the little bit that I know, I fucking hate you motherfuckers. Interacting with y'all on a daily basis and dealing with that racism and colorism, I fucking hate you motherfuckers. I promise you. I promise you. It is not gonna make anybody hate white people more than we already do.
And like I said, like we are already close to you guys. We close enough to actually start civil wars. If we was pissed off enough, we would have been started shit with y'all. We live a neighborhood over. A neighborhood over, man. Nothing is stopping us from really going to war with y'all if we was to really hate if we really hated white people like that. Our focus is more government control. Like she said, reparations. Like I'm saying, revolution. Because I feel like you're not going to get reparations from a country that's built on white supremacy. They're going to hold carrots over your head while they sit on your back and make you run for it. Yes, they will. So I believe in revolution over reparations, revolutions and then reparations, because we the only ones who gonna be able to pay our asses back.
Period.
For real, we the only ones who's gonna be able to take what's what's owed and asking or even demanding. Nah, like yeah, that's not gonna happen. We know even the reparations that we so called gave to the Japanese, they still don't benefit off them reparations. Like those weren't reparations. That was a hush. That was hush money.
And we
You know?
bombed Japan twice.
Yeah, yeah,
Twice.
yeah. That wasn't reparations. And what it depends. Like, see, my idea of reparations is land, government control. You know, the whole shebang. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? The 40 acres and the mule. That whole thing. Some people just want money, and that's where you're gonna fuck up because black people are in debt. If you're not in debt to school, you're in debt to medical and this and that, and you owe so much. If not, you don't have anything. You don't have any capital. You don't own your home. So what's gonna happen if black people get reparations? All of our rents are going up. Do you know that you just paid your own reparations with your tax money? So we got to make sure that it's not coming out of the pockets of black people that's paying black people for being black people.
Hmm.
So when we talk about reparations, we got to not only focus around cash, we need government control. And this is why when we talk about reparations or revolution to this government or to people that's in the government, they know exactly what these words mean. And they look at us like, holy shit, you know what it's going to take to do this? Yes, I know what it's going to take. Like, oh, well, you crazy. I'm rolling with you. Because, dude, it's going to take blood, sweat, and tears to get anything. Anything. Like, bro, how long did it take to get a stimulus check in the middle of a pandemic from a Democratic? Republican. Yeah, you can go ahead. Money is too
But
important.
um, but yeah, so speaking of teaching school history, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and shift over. I did want to pay respect to the First Nation, Cowas, the First Nation of Cowas, and just say that their history is important. They were nomadic bison hunters before they were invaded and taken over by white people. They were a people with a very rich culture. So I suggest that you go and you look at the Cowessess First Nation .org. That's their website. Please learn more about the culture of their tribes and other tribes as well. And yeah, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and move to the next topic. So y'all, we've been talking about critical race theory for the past I'm honestly a couple of years. It's been an underground conversation, but it's been a national conversation, especially over the past couple of months, because the Republicans and the Democrats have to come up with different ways to tell you that they're not actually doing anything to make your life materially better. They have to distract you. So here are one of the ways that they're doing that. By making this a way bigger story than it needs to be. I genuinely feel like if you are afraid, like they said, what has been said, if you're afraid of the true history of this country being taught, then maybe that this country is kind of shitty after all.
And you benefit from it.
Period. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and watch this clip from Loudoun County, Virginia. It was a school board meeting for critical race theory and also talking about transgender relations in their public schools in Loudoun County. And the fucking conservative parents were not having it, y'all. Not at all. So here you go. Go ahead and watch some of these white people act a fool. Watch some of them get arrested. I don't really care for arresting people. I don't think it does much, but here we go.
Please. Walk. Now! Don't resist. You need to be arrested! Shame on you! This is our house! I am disgusted. What's so proud? This is an unlawful arrest.
Oh shit.
Apparently you're not allowed to talk about it. This is your own pronoun to be
You're teaching children to hate others because of their skin color. And you're forcing them to lie about other kids.
Why is active grooming of our students allowed to take place under your watch? Why is indoctrination allowed to take place under your watch?
History will not judge this board well. CRT, like its counterpart, the 1619 Project, is nothing but phony scholarship. It isn't meant to achieve anything. It's meant to divide and destroy this country by people who hate it.
As I watch parent after parent step up and oppose or sadly support the radical racist and immoral propaganda that passes as an education in Loudoun County, I'm reminded of the tyranny of communist China.
I lived in West Germany. We visited many concentration camps. One question visitors always had: how is it that German people allow their fellow citizens?
So, I'm gonna let you get first thoughts about these snowflake ass white people.
First of all, old girl nose was pointy as fuck. I ain't gonna lie, she looked like Lois off Family Guy. That's all I thought about. But what the fuck, man? See, these people, they are scared of the fucking truth. They are afraid. They are so afraid because they not only know, you know what I'm saying? Because not only were some of these people were the same ones out here in the fucking KKK hoods. You know what I'm saying? Not only would they be exposed, you know what I'm saying? But their whole shebang is going to be exposed. Actually, you can look at it right now. These same types of people will call me a communist, tell me to go back to Africa, tell me to go wherever the fuck is elsewhere if I don't say anything loud and proud about this country. And then they turn around and say, hey, this is a free country. If you don't like me calling you a nigger, you can leave. It's not about it's not about the fucking critical race theory. It's not about none of that shit. It's about exposing who the fuck these people really are. Like our black leaders told us, they wear hoods because they are judges. You know what I'm saying? They are doctors. And some of these same people are masked off right now. Pay attention to who they are. Pay attention to where they go and where they live. Because these are the white people that's going to be on the other side when a revolution comes. And no matter how, you know what I'm saying, some people, no matter how much we bring consciousness into class, I know they fucking poor. I know they fucking poor because I saw that fucking shirt at the fucking thrift store too. So I know they fucking poor. Old boy had the last fucking speaker. You know what I'm saying? Some people just gonna be on the other side. So I don't even. Hey, look, it is what it is. Teach your kids to be racist. Teach your kids to be in the block. But guess what? When it come out into the real world, and they call a black nigga a nigger, or they think they can disrespect women or disrespect anybody who feel like they got a problem with America, they're gonna get smacked in their fucking mouth. I'm telling you, they're gonna get hurt. And it's going to be your fucking fault. It's going to be your fault because you are raising your children in a world where minorities are becoming the majority. You're not going to be the fucking face of America in about 40 years. So think about your children before you, you know what I'm saying, fuck up another future.
Just I heard a lot of things about what critical race theory is, communist, Marxist, indoctrination, race, like that's going to teach your children to hate themselves. And it's just like, no, that's not necessarily what it is. So we're going to actually talk about what critical race theory actually is. And critical race theory is a theoretical framework or a set of perspectives by which structural and institutional racism may be examined. All it is talking about, I found that right on Wikipedia. Critical race theory talks about the ways in which racism is embedded in what this country is, in its systems, and in its educational system. Is it necessarily saying that all white people are racist? No. Is it saying that all white people that are currently here today in 2021 are racist? No. But what it is doing is telling you exactly what this country is, where these things are like, and where these, different pockets of racism are embedded in our country, whether that's through redlining, whether that's through voter suppression, whether that's through, healthcare. Black women die 3 times more on delivery tables than white women do. That is a healthcare disparity. That is one way that we are oppressed. We can't even get good fucking education in our neighborhoods. Right out here in Washington, D.C., where I live, MPD has a $543 million budget. And niggas are starving. Yep. DC has the highest homeless rate per capita. And guess what? A majority of those people are black people. That comes from institutional racism, and it also comes from gentrification, another product of racism. Critical race theory breaks down all these concepts. It allows people to be humanized and actually fully understand the hoops that you have to jump through to be a black person in this country.
This helps white people more than anything. These same motherfuckers would sit around and say, I just don't understand how blacks can sit here and kill each other. Well, let us teach you critical race theory. Let us teach your kids. Why we have to go to these measures? Why do we have to rob each other? We're trying to teach you, but you don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Man, just go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
It's real though. Like, you're frustrated because Black people, not only just Black people, like you're frustrated because kids need to know how to be empathetic. In order to do that, they have to be culturally aware. You're upset that your children are probably going to be more culturally aware than you have ever been because the American educational system has not progressed since industrialization. We have not taught no new shit. So you don't think that it's important to teach our kids to think critically in this country? We are falling behind in so many different metrics. Don't you want your kids to be caught the fuck up?
We are
Don't you
already
want your kids to be
behind.
educated? And pointing out these structures, pointing out the inequity of these structures especially, would directly relate to working class issues because a lot of working class people deal with a lot of this same inequity in different ways. So if we're pointing out these inequities from a race perspective, as Black people saying, hey, these things exist and they especially exist for us, they especially oppress us intersectionally. If you are a Black queer person, if you're a Black non-binary person, if you're a Black trans person, a Black trans femme, these things disproportionately affect them. But they also pour into working class people's lives, no matter what your race is, because they use these same models, these same structures to also oppress you as well.
Yes.
May it be by your skin color? No. But are they going to use that same framework to also cut down your political power, your economic power, your voting power? Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, liberatory politics for Black people, liberation for Black people brings liberation for everybody. It brings the end of capitalism. It brings down a system that oppresses us all. It brings down, health for profit. It brings down all that. But y'all are so fucking worried about how it might make you feel. White people need to talk about race.
Yep.
Talk about your role in race. Talk about your role in fucking upholding white supremacy. And then maybe, just maybe, you will understand why it's important to teach critical race theory in fucking schools. Maybe, just maybe.
You hosting, nigga.
But yeah, like I just
You on fire though. I feel you, man. I feel you because hey, look, we are already behind. We like 100 and something out of the, you know what I'm saying, out of the most developed nations in education. Like, come on, man. It's so much shit that we are behind on, and if you truly don't want a race war, you know what I'm saying? Like this is really gonna set the ground on who's who, you know what I'm saying? Who came up what way, who got hurt by it. You know what I'm saying? They're really gonna be able to understand our pains instead of just trying to come over and act like Captain Save-A-Ho. Because that's what's wrong with a lot of white people now. They don't understand our problems, but they want to be white saviors. And then when we tell them, hey, you overstep, and they say, hey, oh, no, I'm not. Like, oh, bro, I just told you. You know what I'm saying? So this is gonna help everybody in the long run. It's gonna help not start a race war, no matter how bad these white people who scared to become the minority tells you. It ain't that bad to become the minority.
already the
Because you
minority.
know what? We've been a minority for a minute, and guess what? Everything that we do is set in stone, just about. It's just like every trend, every fad, everything. So if you are a minority and your voices are strong enough, y'all can be like the blacks and maybe become the majority again. We'll see.
I just, at the end of the day, like, one fact that always, sticks with me is how like some Nazis were treated during the Nuremberg trials, when they were basically like, the Nazis that admitted what they did, they couldn't live with themselves. They killed themselves. But the Nazis that did live through it, the Nazis that did see their last dying breath, that's because they never admitted that Jews were actual humans that deserved, humanity. You know, it's the same thing. Like, America will not be able to condemn itself without destroying itself first. So, in order for America to begin to have these conversations without that destruction, we should probably start building. And a big part of abolition, a big part of, dismantling these systems is building, it is creating, it is reimagining. So if we are not starting to have these uncomfortable conversations in these brave spaces, because I don't believe in safe spaces are bullshit. It's where we all circle jerk each other. A brave space when we have uncomfortable conversations and we grow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So why can we not grow? The same fucking capital that these white people went and ran all up and through is the same fucking capital that my ancestors' black ass hands built for free. We should talk about that and the nuances in which why it is disrespectful to a whole nother level to have a fucking Confederate flag there. You know, it's not just about the fact that they were traitors to America, but it's about the fact that they were literally trying to uphold slavery, and that flag was brought into a house that was built by slaves. So these are the nuanced conversations that we need to start having as Americans, because we need to start to have liberatory conversations for ourselves, freedom dream for ourselves, because nobody in this motherfucking country, unless you are rich and white at the same time, is free. Period. So yeah, we're not having these conversations anymore. We're not arguing with y'all about what is acceptable anymore. 16 fucking states are trying to ban critical race theory. As far as I'm concerned, if you are trying to ban critical race theory, that is because you are racist and because you are trying to uphold white supremacy. There's literally no other reason to oppose it. Talking negatively about the 1619 Project, that means you are not ready to willingly admit that I am a generation or so removed from slaves. So that affects me. That generational trauma of understanding that I'm a generation removed from slaves, but like 2 generations ago, my fucking ancestors were still fucking working and not even whole humans.
Yeah, my
Ruby
grandma
Bridges
came
is
from
still
my
alive
grandma
right
came off
now.
the fucking fields.
Ruby Bridges is still alive right now.
Yeah.
That shit was not that long ago.
Yeah.
And all those fucking racist ass white kids that were fucking spitting in her face and jeering at her and all that shit, and those photos and those black and white photos, guess what? Them motherfuckers are still around, and they're your judges. They're your fucking Congress people. They're your teachers. They're your superintendents of your school boards. Those racist ass white people.
It's not like we don't have. It is not like you just sitting here making this shit up and speaking hyperbole. No, we have real documentation of motherfuckers doing blackface, and these same liberals is taking up for them. Oh, that was a long time ago. They changed. They're not racist anymore. How is it up to you to tell me who the fuck is racist and who is not? And when did they stop being racist? You don't even want to talk to your Uncle Ricky with his racist ass, and you're going to tell me that this politician isn't racist anymore after all the bills. Okay, we can go back. Now, since we see that your politician back in 1970 did blackface, let's go back and look at all the bills that he has passed and how did they attack or help the black community. Oh, now we're starting to fucking, now you see the track record. You see what I'm talking about? These people aren't for us. They put on a mask that's over their blackface. And they act like they give a fuck. They come over here and like Hillary said, she got hot sauce on her bag. And all these motherfuckers, even Bernie came over here eating chicken. All these motherfuckers pander.
Tap dancing.
All of them.
Tap dancing.
But
Shucking
yeah,
and jiving.
we all got, you know what I'm saying? Like, but these motherfuckers be so quick to be like, oh no, that's not how it is anymore. Just listen to us. No, you just want to feel good. You want to feel good because you don't actually even read these fucking bills that these people pass, and you don't even give a fuck about the neighborhoods that are destroyed. You don't even give a fuck that your taxes is used to fucking bomb other countries. So I know you don't give a fuck about me. You want me to shut up. You want me to fall in line. You want me to vote and use my influence to tell my followers to vote for the Democratic Party. For what? For what? No. We taking care of each other so easily. So easily. Educating each other so easily. Without the Democratic Party. We don't need Bernie Sanders. We don't need AOC to say, hey, these people are the left, because they not even on the fucking left. And if you calling yourself a democratic socialist in this fucking climate, in this political climate nowadays, nigga, you are not to be trusted. Straight the fuck up. It's either you on the left or you on the left. Cause I ain't fucking with you half-ass motherfuckers no more. But anyways, like we were saying, yeah, these white motherfuckers be tripping. I love some of y'all niggas. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? But some white niggas do be tripping, man. Just like, stop being scared, man. Damn. Just you know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
it's also important for critical race theory to be taught in schools because hyper individualism in the Black community has literally destroyed us over the past 45 years. Like, without that deep sense of community that we all had, that deep protection of each other that we all had before, we have now continued to be fooled by the Democratic Party. It is important for white kids to learn critical race theory. It is important for this country to actually take accountability for the atrocities that they
I'll
have
be right
waged
back.
against Black
Take it over
people
for
and
me.
Indigenous people. It's extremely important that we do these things, but it's especially important for Black people because we need to remember that this is our struggle, that this is our fight, that we are the ones that will get our liberation. We are the ones that have the sense of urgency. We are the ones that have the plan, the excellence, and the organizing in order to get this shit done. That's Black people. And it's time that we get a fucking reminder. And if that comes from deeply understanding what this country has done, and if that comes from deeply understanding the lengths in which this country would go through to cover up its crimes and continue to oppress us and piss on our fucking leg and tell us it's goddamn raining, then we need to take that opportunity. Black people especially. We need to fight for our own liberation. We need to fight for our own freedom. So that's a good way for me to transition into my next story, because I've been hounding them to talk about this for weeks. And I really wanted to talk about this because, like James said, like JB said, only the uncomfortable have a sense of urgency. And a lot of you white leftists are not uncomfortable enough for me. Period. TYT. Jimmy Dore, that bullshit. I'm not here to fucking hash out the fucking drama about any of that shit. Steven Crowder and Sam Cedar, not here to hash out any of the drama with the bullshit, none of that. But I am here to say that white leftists have continuously co-opted our movements, co-opted our language, co-opted our struggle, co-opted our fucking revolution, and literally watered it down, shit on it, disrespected it. So I don't know, a lot of you probably remember earlier this year, the whole force the vote conversation and all of those things. And I want to show this clip, and that comes from Brianna Joy Gray, because I really want to add context into why I feel it is important that white leftists get the fuck out of the way. Period. You can go ahead.
All right, hold on. Let's do it this way. 1 second.
All right, that's fine. I can go ahead and but yeah, like, just to provide more context why we get this up and running, it is time to admit, it's time for all these white leftists to admit that they were wrong. And
Okay,
instead of
here we go.
admitting that they were wrong, instead of admitting that they were wrong, oh, go ahead.
Up was at a certain point I was like, look, people were saying, okay, but a floor vote is just performative. A floor vote is performative. And my point, we had just interviewed Ralph Nader, who was talking about how important performative theater is to politics. And I was like, well, yes, but that's not an indictment. But let's just, for the sake of argument, put that to the side. thanks largely to David Sirota, here are all of these other asks. Getting rid of Richie Neal as head of the Ways and Means Committee, getting rid of PAYGO in its entirety. That could have been demand, and all these committee appointments that now in hindsight we know didn't happen, right? Katie Porter doesn't get her a very important position on the Financial Services Committee. Everybody basically got exactly what they had gotten the year before.
AOC did not get, she got hammered in her attempt to get Energy and Commerce.
And this is where we ended up, to me, that was validation of the fact that regardless of what the ask was, I think some people were missing the point that Force the Vote is all about using your leverage to get something and not about the merits of a particular strategy, which we as a left community could have been debating instead of just clobbering each other over the head about who loves AOC more. And so after all of that went down and the squad didn't seem to have gotten what they said they were bargaining for, because that was the narrative from them. They pretty explicitly said, we're on it.
We're fighting on PAYGO.
We're getting stuff. Right. Just sit tight. And that was the argument being used against the Force the Vote people. Okay, I'll sit tight.
Right. You let us know what you get. But let's tell the story from 2 years ago too.
What's the story from 2 years ago?
So where they failed then too. So after 2018, they.
But yeah, so I just really want the white intellectual left to admit that they were dead ass wrong. And that they've been dead ass wrong. Because at the end of the day, like Medicare for all, that's liberatory politics. Period. Infrastructure bills that actually focus on race, infrastructural racism, that is liberatory politics. Canceling student loan debt, that's liberatory politics. Raising the minimum wage to not a fucking living wage, but a thriving wage of $24 an hour or over, because $15 is bullshit. It's the floor. Yeah. That's a liberatory politic. And as a black person on the left, I find it very frustrating to watch people like Sam Cedar, to watch people like Cenk Uygur, to watch people like Anna Kasparian, to watch people like Kyle Kalinske and all these other fucking white leftists continue to make excuses for shit that is unexcusable. If we have the power, the real power to withhold things, to get the things that we want, then we need to do that. Before I let you jump in, I'm going to add just a little bit more context to what I'm talking about. So the Force the Vote argument, a lot of you probably know, like, a lot of the context around that, but Nancy Pelosi we could have gotten something else if she was going to be Speaker of the House. Yeah. And all that fucking bad faith argument about fucking Kevin McCarthy becoming Speaker of the House is bullshit, because that would have meant that Democrats would have literally had to vote for him to become Speaker of the House, and nobody was gonna fucking murder their fucking career like that. Let's be very real. Let's be very clear. Voting against fucking Nancy Pelosi. Let's be clear. So you motherfuckers literally just didn't fight. Y'all just didn't get shit. Y'all had no sense of urgency. And at the end of the day, black people are dying. Yeah. From many different ways in this system. We are dying. And y'all have decided to keep telling us to hurry up and wait. So now I'm asking, when are we ready to hold people accountable? When are we ready to hold people accountable? Because, I mean, there are so many different things that I have to say, like, about this, but Rome, please, before I get into a fucking rant, please go.
The truth is, it's not about helping anyone. It's about the illusion of looking like they're helping, so they can always have these people in these cycles of, you know what I'm saying, of watching them, of buying the bullshit that they are selling. If our lives was to actually get better, there would be no need for a Sam Cedar. There would be no need for a TYT. There would be no need for a Fran Hampton leftist. You know what I'm saying? And if they was to actually use those 5 million subscribers that they have on YouTube, millions of followers that they have on Twitter, to actually get out here and push for real liberation, they can really make a change. And they know that. But do they want that? No, because that don't pay the bills. And this is why a lot of people stay in the middle, because there is no money over here. There is no money over here. And if you are, if all the motherfuckers that so called start on the left, they always end up in the middle somehow, because they don't move left with their teachings. Kyle Kalinske, they don't move left with their teachings. So now you have a whole bunch of motherfuckers who used to watch you, who moved to the left of you, while you're still preaching for whatever hopes and dreams. And everybody looking at you like, yeah, this got to be some type of hustle, because it is. They don't want to help us. They are reporters. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference when you step into community organizing as and reporting the news. Because if we can go on any of these motherfuckers who said, you know what I'm saying, force to vote is a bad idea, let's look at their bank accounts. Like, for real. Let's look up their net worths and see where their families are from and shit like that. Do they have anything to lose? Are they being propped up to say this? Because a lot of them are. And a lot of them got a lot of shit to lose if our lives get better. Our lives, well, we get Medicare for all. Let's say this, hyperbole, whatever. We get Medicare for all, Green New Deal, reparations, all this shit. Who's that good for? That ain't good for them. We opening up our own businesses. We buying back our neighborhoods that they can't gentrify anymore. We educating each other on real politics, what's really going on. Who's that good for? They don't want to fight for you. They want to give you the illusion. Hey, give me a couple of dollars. Give me $5 on my Patreon. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna teach you. Teach me what? What NSNBC said? Because that's all you niggas do. That's all you niggas do. Yeah, ain't nobody trying to fucking really uplift nobody, man. You know what I'm saying? Because really imagine these people. I done got fucking 8,000, almost 9,000 followers on Twitter, and I'm doing this shit with the fucking people I got. You got 100,000 followers, and you just sit back on that, and you just collecting money on it. You're not helping your community. You're not helping anybody grow or pulling anybody out of the hood. Like, what the fuck? I just don't. I don't know. I don't know. I see it because I know there's power in people. I know there's power in people, and if they can say, if any one of these motherfuckers invite me on their show and sit here and tell me, hey, I can't control these people, and no, nigga, you can ask. You've been teaching them for years. I'm pretty sure they've been throwing thousands of dollars at you. You can put that shit back in the hood, nigga. You can put that shit back in the hood. Stop playing. These niggas don't want to help us, man. It ain't about none of that shit. They probably, like, man, fuck out of here. Fuck David Doyle. Fuck all these niggas. You know what I'm saying? Because what's his last name? Doyle? I can't never pronounce that motherfucker. His bitch ass ran for office. Now he over. They don't take his bitch ass serious in Canada. So he come over here talking about our politics. Then get the fuck off. All them motherfuckers ain't doing a goddamn thing, nigga.
It's just like, do y'all think that y'all gonna keep the house in 2022?
Nope.
Y'all think you're gonna keep the house in 2024 in the Senate? Like, do you think so? Like, come on now. Like, literally, look at the history. Barack Obama had his supermajority, and he did nothing with it. And what did his base do? They didn't do shit for him. And there was a red wave. There were multiple red waves.
Yep. He
Would you
lost
like to know
1,000
why
seats.
there are multiple red waves? Because say whatever the fuck you want about the Republican Party, and we all know the Republican Party and the Democratic Party are always forever running cover for each other. But say whatever the fuck you want about the Republican Party, at least they give their base something.
Yeah.
Like, take away all the racism, take away all the bullshit. Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell put over 200 federal judges in our court systems. That is giving your base something. They made it so that abortion rights can be overturned.
Yep.
That is giving your base something. When the fucking Tea Party came out before 30, what was that, 20 years ago, 30 years ago? Everyone, oh my God, they're so crazy, they're so radical. Like, no, we don't fully agree with that. Like, it's kind of xenophobic. But look at them now. They have fractured the Republican Party and taken most of them with them because it's about being at the grassroots. So my question for the left is when the fuck are y'all gonna come back to the grassroots of where this movement fucking started? And it starts with the most marginalized and oppressed of all of us. Period. Like this shit doesn't come from you rich, privileged white motherfuckers. Y'all don't know what it's like to struggle for shit.
Y'all can fund it.
Like if you're
y'all can fund the movement.
Then you being a working class person,
just don't get in the way.
Like yes, you have the intersection of being working class. Yes, you have that intersection of having some socioeconomic oppression, but you are not black. You're not being stalked by the police. You're not being literally systematically fucking exercised from a country that you built on your back with your blood and your blood, sweat, and fucking tears. Like if the congressional fucking caucus, the Congressional Progressive Caucus actually fucking voted as a block and had a real litmus test for who was actually a real progressive. Like, no, not any of this on paper bullshit. Like, no, we want real fucking policy. Policy is our fucking love language. I do not want you to performatively love me. I want you to fight for it. The same way that the Republicans fight for all of their bullshit. They got 3 Supreme Court judges. They did that. That's efficacy. That's what it looks like to have an effective fucking administration. Regardless of all the other bullshit Trump had going on, he distracted the fuck out of us. Yes, he did. But he did what the fuck he needed to do for his base. And that is the reason why they still fucking love him. It has nothing to do with no sycophancy. It has nothing to do with anything else other than the fact that he delivered on the shit he wanted them to fucking deliver on.
And you know what's so crazy? Democrats can expand the courts anytime they please. They can expand the courts. They can get rid of the filibuster. They can do whatever the fuck they want to. But they did not plan on. They did not plan on winning everything. They thought they were still gonna have them the minority in the House. You know, send the minority in the Senate. They didn't think they was gonna do this much. So, as you can see, he's keeping everything Trump wanted in place. He's building the wall. He's continuing to build the wall. His administration is in court fighting for Trump sexual harassment cases. You know, look, these motherfuckers just set them up for Republicans to knock them down. And if Trump come back around, he is a free man and he is free to run for president.
And he is running for 2024. He's running in 2024. He already said it. And they're going to let him.
And more than likely, he's gonna win because he's gonna be like, "See, Sleepy Joe, he bombed he didn't even give y'all any checks. He bombed Syria before he gave you guys checks."
And Trump ran as an anti-war populist. If you don't think that he can run from the left of Biden, are you fucking?
He already did.
Literally, the Republicans to the left of us earlier when they fucking voted against the fucking police budget, the Capitol Police budget raise. That was the Republicans running to the left.
Yep.
Of people like AOC, of people like Jamal Bowman and Rashida Tlaib that decided to vote fucking present. Yep. They ran to the left. That's embarrassing, y'all. It's embarrassing as shit. And that fucking vote only won by one fucking vote. Fucking 213 to 212? Are y'all joking?
Y'all got got. They got
more pressed about defending the fucking squad than defending our fucking principles.
Facts.
Stop defending the squad and start defending our principles. Start fighting for the things that we said we're fucking fighting for, and figure out who the fuck our fucking enemies are. Run people that are actually gonna fight this shit. Stop fucking running people that are gonna keep the status quo in place. We do not agree. We do not agree. Run people that are willing to say fuck the Democratic Party because we do not agree. AOC and all of them should have been said, we are not Democrats. We are the Progressive Party. We are the Liberation Party. We are literally anything else other than fucking Democrats because we do not agree substantively.
But she make them feel good. She make them feel good because she say shit like, if this was any other country, we wouldn't be in the same party. So why are you in the same party? Why are you in the same party? Just get out of the fucking party.
AOC has enough political capital to win over and over again. So does
That's
Rashida
that
Tlaib. So does
bullshit,
Ilhan Omar.
performative
So does fucking
bullshit.
Cori Bush. You guys have the
Yeah.
political capital to win without being Democrats
Yes.
at this point. You proved it. You like AOC beat fucking Steny Hoyer. Cori Bush beat a fucking dynasty
Yeah.
of Congress people. His
She from the
father
hood.
and son. You beat
Yeah.
that. And you're fucking telling me right now that y'all can't fight for shit? That y'all are sitting up here, y'all are running and acting like fucking fighters, but you're not actually gonna do any of the shit that you care about? And you
Because
want me to keep supporting you?
because once
You
they
want
got
me to
in it,
not hold you
once they got in
accountable as
office,
a black fucking woman in this country? Are you
once they got
fucking
in office,
joking?
they saw how big that monster actually was. They saw how ruthless and how bloodthirsty that monster of this government actually was, and how these people really can give two fucks about what they are talking about. Honestly, like, yeah. Say that shit for the cameras. Like, hold on, what? Yeah, because when they vote just like these motherfuckers. But when they talk just like us. Like I told y'all before, they adapted our language. They use it against you. You know what I'm saying? Where have we heard this before? They just colonized our fucking whole shebang. So we gotta know better. You know what I'm saying? They came in and fucked us up. They fucked us up. We gotta do better next time and know when the enemy is really a chameleon and not, you know what I'm saying, one of us.
At the end of the day, like white leftists, all of you people, all y'all need to do is mobilize your people. Let the activists organize them. Let us organize them around our ideals that we actually give a fuck about. Like even if you're not going, like the thing is just like if you aren't taking any corporate money, but you're not actually doing the things that your constituency voted you in to do, then how the fuck do you expect to win re-election next time around? Probably by taking some corporate money.
Yep.
Probably.
That's the only
So like at the end of the day, like so if you're gonna switch up, don't be mad at us for calling you a sellout. If you're gonna switch up, don't be upset with us because we don't want to support you anymore. Because at the end of the day, as a black queer person, as a black lesbian woman in this fucking country, I need more than fucking excuses and hurry up and wait. Especially when you have the power and the platform to do these things and you're just not doing them. Especially when you have the power and the platform and the people power behind you to actually mobilize and start a revolution to save my life and the life of people in my community. And you don't do it, then of course I'm gonna call you a sellout. Of course I'm gonna call you a sellout. Of course I'm gonna say that you don't actually fucking believe in anything that you said you believe in. Of course
these
I'm gonna call you a
motherfuckers
liar and a
these
fake
motherfuckers
and a
got
fraud.
mad at us because we called out AOC when she funded grassroots money, people money. Some of these people that's in the comments right now, somebody that gave money to AOC, she funded that money to CIA agents, and everybody was mad at us for calling it out, for calling her for what she is, a fucking sellout. You can't come in and then she was on Instagram talking about Cobra. They don't even talk about Medicare for all. They don't even talk about public option. They talking about Cobra and how good it is to have access to health care. So don't get mad at us. Look in a damn mirror, be mad at yourself, and get over it. We all get got.
These motherfuckers didn't even get a public option. And at the end of the day, like, honestly, bro,
We're the
I would have so much
majority.
more respect for them. I'd have so much more respect for them if they would just come out and say, like, damn, y'all, all right, we was wrong. Like, we thought we could push this motherfucker to the left. We thought all this shit, but you know what, y'all? Like, nah, we're still with the movement. We're still with these things. These things are still important to us, and we're going to find a different strategy to fight for them.
Oh no, they was like, fuck
Performance
y'all niggas.
is important. Performance is important because a lot of what the Trump it's an effective tactic because a lot of what the Trump administration and what the Republican Party did in during that 4 years and even before that 4 years was performance. It was smoke and mirrors. It was all political bullshit, political theater. And guess what? Their base ate that shit up. And guess what? They got real substantive fucking shit from that performance. Where there's smoke, there's fire. So set one. Period.
Yep. Oh, y'all
But
niggas
yeah,
got us talk, and more talk. Y'all niggas ain't get. I mean, like, damn.
ain't get
Y'all
shit.
still capping for these niggas? Like, I can't be me. Can't
And
be
like
me. I can't see. I can't look at the government that I can't look for the party. I can't look at the party I voted for, bomb a country before they was giving us money during the pandemic, and still say, hey, they're doing a good job. Give them time. Are you out of your fucking mind? Are you
They
out of
still
your?
didn't cancel
You must
rent.
be.
We didn't even cancel. Y'all couldn't even get them to cancel rent. They pulled $4 trillion out of their asses last year to give to corporations. But we can't
Yep.
cancel rent. You can't even get Biden to actually commit to canceling student loan debt.
This
Black
nigga
women
found
hold the
ways to
most student
fund the
loan debt
police
out of
three
any
fucking
demographic group.
times. He
Black
found a way to
women hold
fund the
the
police
most
three
student loan
times
debt
this
out
year.
of any demographic group in America. So black generational wealth is automatically stunted by that in America. Period. And y'all can't even do that. Y'all can't get a public option. Y'all can't get $15 minimum wage. What the fuck can you do? Other than tweet.
That's
Other than
it.
talk about it.
That's it.
Other than fucking perform.
That's it.
What can you do? Because at
Yeah.
the end of the day, if y'all voted as a block, because there's such a thin fucking minority of Democrats, there's a thin majority of Democrats in the House, razor thin, and in the Senate. If y'all actually voted as a block and said, no, we will not vote for this until you do this, until you force a vote on this, until you step up to the plate and actually take the fucking extra money, the 300 billion or whatever it was of extra money for fucking extra funding for police departments around the fucking country, until you take that out of the George Floyd Act, we're not fucking voting for it. Fuck you. Literally, fuck you. We ran on defunding the police. We want you to defund the police. If you won't do it, then we're not voting for that shit. Fuck you. Fucking shut the fucking government down. Then Trump did that shit. Period. And
And
what
that,
did it
and
do
that,
to this
that goes
country?
back
Nothing.
to what I was saying about, you know what I'm saying, some of these fucking podcasters who can start leading their own movements. These motherfucking congressmen and congresswomen, these motherfuckers got the same motherfuckers following them. They can do the same shit. The same shit, if not better. Even more people. You know what I'm saying? All across the board. New York, Detroit, wherever the fuck Cory Bush from.
St. Louis.
St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? All these motherfuckers can really get some shit shut down if they was like, you know what? The government isn't listening to us. We tried our best, and we feel like y'all should just strike.
That's
I
the only thing
think
you do. Don't work. Don't work.
that right there.
Period.
You know what I'm
Do
saying?
not show
Or
up to work.
don't pay your taxes. Strike. Any kind of way that you feel like will work for you and in your revolution, do it. If you don't want to pay taxes, stop it. If you don't want to do this, don't do it. But we're gonna need everybody to fucking stop something. We're gonna need enough labor to stop in order to for our demands to be met. If you want to go at it your way and ask the government, because I ain't asking these niggas for shit.
I'm not
Personally.
asking for a motherfucking thing. I'm tired of
Personally.
asking for shit. Like the Republicans don't ask. They don't ask. You know what I'm saying? White people don't ask. You know what I'm saying? They just kind of take that shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's what they do. They colonize shit.
Yep.
They're not gonna ask. They're gonna colonize what
Lobby.
they want.
It's called
You know what I'm saying?
it's called lobbyist. It's called lobbying. No, you can't.
So I just, yeah, that's, you know, I understand that everybody, the debates that everybody was having around, like, you know, the TYT and all that drama. Like, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Jimmy Dore and TYT are both very toxic institutions, if you ask me. Very toxic people on both sides. But at the end of the day, like, it's about returning back down to the grassroots. And if a majority of your audience or a majority of the people that follow you would support a more aggressive
Yeah.
a more aggressive tactic, then you should probably follow up with that. You should probably push that forward, because if you are really home of the progressives, and that means that we actually need to
What
make
the
some
fuck
fucking
is a
progress.
progressive? What the fuck is? But
We need to
I'm
make a
gonna say
little bit
this.
of
I'm gonna
progress.
say this about Jimmy. I'm gonna say this about Jimmy. I don't watch Jimmy's show.
I don't
You
like
know,
Jimmy. Not a
I
fan.
don't. I only watch one show of Jimmy and two shows of Jimmy. As far as I see, uh, as far as him doing his job, he does his job. He's a fucking comedian, so he does that job too. I ain't looking for this nigga to be all serious because I don't even listen to white man when it comes to my news. But uh, I believe that TYT was sent to distract that man. Like honestly, with all this shit that's going on right now, like he was all the shit that he was reporting. Like I saw a lot of his tweets. A lot of people retweeting his shit that he was reporting on. You know what I'm saying? Because I got all types of people on the left that's on my fucking page. So I'm seeing what he's reporting on. I'm like, all right, that's not, you know what I'm saying? That's what's up. Then all this TYT shit come out of nowhere. I'm like, at first, I'm like, all right, well, it's a little back and forth. It'll blow over. Now I'm looking like, damn, they still
Yeah,
talking
but
about
like
this
now
shit.
it's like a thing. Like it's like a real concerted thing on the left right now to
Yeah.
just start pointless bullshit drama. Like
But
honestly, and distract from the fact.
look at the same people. Look at their let's go back to their track records of the primaries, then the general election, and who told who what to do what. You had Jimmy saying, you know what I'm saying, vote for you know what I'm saying, Tulsi or Bernie, whatever. Don't vote for Biden. Basically, what he was saying. Don't vote Biden. I wouldn't vote for Biden if I was you. Motherfuckers like, I see these tweets like, oh, Jimmy is I'm like, what the fuck? And then you got TYT talking about, oh well, we can push him to the left and blah, blah, blah. So now TYT get what they want, and what do we see? Funding of Israel. You know what I'm saying? Ganja Strip being bombed. Syria being bombed. We see, you know what I'm saying, the funding of the police. We see all types of shit that they said that they was gonna push them away from happening in real time. And instead of addressing this or apologizing to their viewers and saying, hey, we were wrong, you know, we miscalculated. We try to play fair with a segregationist. No, they go after everything to try to just, you know what I'm saying, keep their.
You're muted, boo. You're muted.
You done fucked up your mic, man. You gotta fix that mic.
Well, I know me personally. I'm just ready for these fucking outlets. Honestly, like I'm just here for accountability. Like I believe in radical empathy. I believe in radical love. I believe in radical community. Like and I also believe in radical transformation. Like if these people, actually transform their ways, if they actually, give more space to Black activists, more space to Black grassroots, and they actually, change course in a real way, I'm not going to sit up here and, cancel them. I don't believe in cancel culture. Cancel culture is bullshit. But I will not support institutions that are fighting against me. And right now I feel like TYT, Sam Cedar, the Majority Report, Emma Vigland, Ryan Grimm, The Intercept, all these people are fighting against my motherfucking liberation. So because you're fighting against my liberation, now you're an enemy. And until you stop acting like one, until you stop acting like an op, you're going to get treated like an op. Period. Period. So if you're mad that we called you names, be reflective before you be defensive. Period. Check your whiteness and your white privilege and see what the fuck you've done to stifle my liberation.
Yeah.
And uphold white supremacy before you fucking come at me. I beg. But anyway.
Yeah, I was just saying, I guess I got cut off. She said my FBI agent silenced me. But yeah, the motherfuckers is trying to take the heat off of them because they know that, you know what I'm saying, we should be holding them. We would be, if we wasn't talking about Jimmy Dore versus TYT, we would be, you know what I'm saying, going after TYT because they did the same shit with Hillary Clinton that they did with Joe Biden. So now they're just trying to take all that fucking flame off of them and trying to say, hey, don't look at us, look at him, look at him, look at him. Yeah, that nigga Jimmy is a toxic motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? All them comedian white boys are. If you ask me, Bob, what the fuck his name? Bob, whatever the fuck, the bald head, redhead nigga. All them niggas. They all try to be controversial and Eminem. You know what I'm saying? All them motherfuckers. But you know what I'm saying? Look at their histories. Like, yeah, I align more with Jimmy with just what I seen off of him, and I watched TYT. You know what I'm saying? I actually
I'm a
watched
whole
TYT
ass
before,
member and all
and I
that.
don't even. Right, and I never even fucking agree with them. I'm like, what the fuck is they talking about? Is they saying here supporting war? Let me turn this shit. See what Kyle doing. Let me see what David Packman doing. I used to watch David Packman. Like, come
I
on,
used
man.
to watch the shit out of Kyle Kalinske. I used to
Yeah,
really
like,
like. I still watch Hassan Piker, just because,
yeah.
like, as a lesbian, and he's still so attractive to me. I don't care. And I said it on live. I said it, but yeah, that's and I don't. So I don't. We don't watch him for like actual substantive reasons. I mean, don't get me wrong. He'd be right, I guess, sometimes, but maybe. But he's just really great to look at. So that's all we
Yeah,
watch.
that's how it be.
But
Some niggas get all the love.
but yeah, we are. So this is gonna take a hard turn now. We're gonna take a hard turn into the Derek Chauvin trial. So yeah, y'all, he only got 22 and a half years, y'all. I'm pretty sure that George Floyd would have probably lived longer than that. But I know that I know that as an abolitionist, I don't believe in incarceration. I don't believe in this criminal punishment system. I don't think that, him being uh in jail is gonna change him or the society in any way. I don't think it's gonna fix shit.
Give his ass a
So I
wall.
know personally for me, I mean, I would rather him go through some rehabilitation, some transformative justice, some, really learning how to be a better human being so he can reintegrate back to society, because that's what I believe in: radical love and radical transformation. But, this is the accountability that we have. So fuck Derek Chauvin. He's going to get out in 10 years, period. Like, let's be real.
That's if he don't get hit with the federal charges, because he got to get hit with federal charges. He did abuse, you know what I'm saying, some federal rights. And so we're gonna have to see about that, and if they're gonna be run consecutive or and we just have to see about that. But yeah, fuck this nigga. Period. Fuck the whole system, and it's not even just this nigga. Fuck that judge. Fuck that county. Fuck the whole system. Period. Because first of all,
And that judge gave
I'm
him a
gonna tell
fucking
you right
appeal.
now, if I
He
was
gave
to
him an
lay
appeals
a
package.
hand, if me and George Floyd, if that was me and George Floyd in that incident, we would have been in fucking prison. It wouldn't have been a long ass trial. It wouldn't have been none of this shit. They wouldn't have to calculate how long it takes for to kill a man. We know. We fucking know.
We in jail for less, for longer. Niggas in jail right now
So
for
fuck the
weed,
whole system
for 25 to life.
together. They trying to use both of these men as scapegoats. They trying to throw Derek at us so we can shut the fuck up about police brutality and be happy, just like they did with Joe Biden. Just like they did with Joe Biden, trying to say, hey, here's your police reform, bitch. No, it's not.
It's just more
No, it's
money.
not.
It's Bill Clinton 2.0.
He was to the right of all our presidents since Reagan. But that's here nor there. All this shit that's going on right now, they are using both of these men against us to silence us in some way, make us feel better about the situation. Some people are actually happy about the 22-year sentence. I feel like it is what it is because I feel like I expected for him to get off in the first place. I expected for him to get off. So let's just hope for the worst when he get behind those bars. That's all. That's all we can do. That's all we can do.
I know for me, like I said, like there are so many black men right now that are in jail for the rest of their lives for weed, for drugs, for nonviolent convictions. You know, if you want to stand in solidarity with the black community and not just give us crumbs, free all them niggas. Period. Because at the end of the day, white people are making billions of dollars off of weed now. You know what I'm saying? Fucking nonviolent drug offenses, like there's like people are researching drugs. Let all them niggas out. Violent drug offenses, let them niggas out. Cause and like at the end of the day, like 53% of violent crime goes unreported anyway. So we like all the violence that y'all are so worried about containing, all that shit is right here. The police are fucking useless as hell. They really are. They don't dismantle shit. They don't solve shit. They don't fucking stop shit. So, I mean, Derek Chauvin going to jail, what does that really mean in the grand scheme of things? You know what I'm saying? How does that better him as a person, and how does that better our society in the grand scheme of things? Like, we're spending more money housing him in jail. Our tax dollars is going to that, housing his ass in jail, than it would cost to actually rehabilitate him and the communities in which he affected. We could spend instead of spending almost $40,000 per year per person. Takes $40,000 per year per person when you're in
This
prison.
wouldn't even be a problem if they would not even neglect the black community and put these police in our communities that act like there's a fucking superhero. Give them immunity. You know what I'm saying? They drop these drugs, these guns, and our shit. This would not be a problem if the government just left us the fuck alone in the first place. You know what I'm saying? But now we got to go through all this bullshit. And like, man, I try to make the best out of it. Like, I try not to let it get to me because I see, I see the bullshit. Like, it's all theater. It's all theater, and they all are making money off of it. Like, you would be surprised who making money off of this shit. I mean, from face mask to motherfucking man to car wraps with George Floyd's name on it. Artists charging you to fucking yes, yes, yes. It's all a scheme, man. It's all about money, 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 and it's not really about helping nobody, man. No matter how many statues you build of George Floyd, it's not gonna bring him back. It's not gonna, actually bring him justice. You know what I'm saying? Because justice would have been having boys and girls clubs in his neighborhood when he was a fucking child. So he could grow up in a better you know what I'm saying, around better people. That would have been justice. You know what I'm saying? Actually putting money in schools in this neighborhood, better opportunities. Maybe he wouldn't have been at the fucking liquor stove if y'all actually did justice for the black community. So hey, this don't even start with Derek. You know what I'm saying? This goes way back. So fuck the whole system altogether.
But no, if it costs $40,000 per person to house people in jail, we have 2.3 million people in jail, and that's like a rough estimate. That's just in America. 40,000 times 2.3 million people per year.
I
Do the
swear.
math on that. That's the money that we could be spending on rehabilitating our communities. That's the money that we could be spending on actual educational opportunities. That's the money that we could be spending on putting better jobs in black communities. That's the money that we could be spending on, instead of having cops in our streets, we could be spending that shit on building green infrastructure. All these fucking cops that are out here Fire all the motherfuckers and make them construction workers. We need to make the earth green. Period. Yep. We need greener, like our infrastructure is crumbling. A fucking apartment building in fucking Florida just collapsed today. A bridge collapsed in DC on Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Like we have 46,000 bridges in fucking America that are structurally unsound, and we're spending money on police and putting people in prison.
They keep raping the earth like we don't have to live in this motherfucker. I just don't understand why is they taking all these materials. I mean, I understand money and control all that shit, blah, blah, blah. But as far as a motherfucker, like, bro, how evil are you? You trying to destroy the world? Like, I never, as a child, I used to always think, why is this nigga trying to blow up the world? You know what I'm saying? Why is the bad guy trying to blow up the world? Does he not have to fucking come back here? Does he not have to live here? And this is how these people really live. They frack the earth. They take tons of fucking water out of Lake Michigan. You know, they don't give nothing back to the communities. They rape Africa, rape all these fucking Middle Eastern states, poppy seeds, all this shit. They done fucking took every fucking thing that they could. Soil, everything. What the fuck are you gonna do? Like, I don't know. Maybe their plan is to blow up the world. Maybe this nigga is the bad guy that I've been growing up watching in these fucking movies since I was a little nigga. Cause it makes no sense for you to do this knowing the outcome. You pay people to tell you the outcome of what's happening when you frack the earth. And the nigga come and tell you, oh man, we're gonna have earthquakes if we continue. Oh fuck it. The
like,
fuck?
honestly, like, you know,
They're gonna
the
fucking
reason
die.
why
Humans are fucking idiots. If they go to another planet, they're going to die. They're going to die. They're only going to last about 5 years. These motherfuckers, they're going to die. And I can't wait. Go ahead. Bye. Bye, bitch. Shit. Oh, they going to blow. Half of their ass going to blow up in space. Straight up. That shit always don't send out. Like, nigga, you're going to die. Yes. Humans are going to get what they deserve. No matter how big, how small you are or your fucking bank account, all these motherfuckers are going to get what they deserve. Talking about living on Mars and all this shit. Man, I ain't even that much. I used to be into science. But when math started getting into science, I was like, you know what? But I know a little something about space, and I'm going to tell you right now. Humans, even with the technology that we have right now, yes, we can send technology out to go to Jupiter, to watch over Neptune and all the shit. But dude, we don't have that shit to actually live out there in another in another fucking on another planet without some straw sucking air from our atmosphere continuously. I don't know. But y'all niggas gonna die. If y'all gonna have to make trips back into, like, come on, man, what you gonna do? Y'all gonna have to make trips back and forth. How you gonna get back? I thought it was a one-way trip. So you're gonna build a rocket ship up there and all that shit. Then you're gonna build one here. Shit, Mars. These niggas gonna die. Mars not even that fucking. I don't know. Whatever. They the smart guys, so hey. They letting a nigga who never fucking, you know what I'm saying, really had a successful rocket in the fucking air go to Mars. So hey, they the smart ones, not me. I'm just some nigga.
I would just, to close out, because we're almost done here, but I would just, say that again, just like, let's stop accepting crumbs and making excellence out of it. Like Derek Chauvin going to jail, like, is us accepting crumbs and making excellence out of it. And Black people have been so good at that for the past, 400 plus years. Like, no matter how hard they try to hold us down, to oppress us, we always come out on top. We always come out with our excellence. We always come out with some new, innovative, creative ass shit to survive. That's what Black people do. We are survivors. I'm not trying to survive any longer. I want to thrive in the country that I built for free. I do not want to see police officers go to jail. I want to see safer Black communities with resources, education, healthcare, broadband infrastructure.
Right. Get the fuck on.
I want to see infrastructure in Black communities that isn't poisoning our children with lead. You know what I'm saying? I want to see, real educational opportunities for us to go and get higher educational learning if we want to, or I want to see trade school opportunities for us to get trades, these high paying ass trades that all these white people are doing, like electricians and plumbing and HVAC and all that shit that they making fucking all this money doing. We need those programs in our neighborhoods too. We need apprenticeships in our neighborhoods too. Yes, niggas want to sell drugs. Selling drugs is cool. You see what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're still criminalizing people for that shit. So, like, we need to figure out something else.
Yeah.
Period. You know what I'm
Like,
saying?
who the fuck want to pay taxes? Like, what the fuck?
Period. But
Especially
it's just like, we have our tax dollars are funding all of this shit. Our tax dollars are put behind all of this shit. And I'm tired of my taxes funding my oppression.
I'll be telling white conservatives that shit. I know we supposed to wrap up, but like, hey, look, them drug dealers don't pay taxes, man. So you think about the people that they hurt and then think about how many people your tax dollars hurt. Well, that's all I'm gonna say.
No, I'm tired of my tax dollars funding my oppression. I want my tax dollars to start to fund my liberation, to fund my repair. Reparate me. Okay? That's what I want. That's what I want my tax dollars to do. I want them to work and twerk for me, not for y'all. Because at the end of the day, the Black community's billions of dollars that we contribute to this fucking economy, and that's just liquid money. That's not including all the culture, the food, the clothes, the fashion design, the intellectual property that y'all have probably made trillions of dollars off of globally. They're not even including that. You know what I'm saying? We deserve better. We deserve more. And we're going to get that. Period. By force or by legislation. Regardless, you know what I'm saying? An oppressed people can no longer be oppressed. I'm not going to continue to let my oppressor write the game, the rules of the game. You're not going to set the conditions on which I can revolt against you. So we can do this shit, the easy force the vote way. Because honestly, that's the compromise. It's either y'all are going to get aggressive in the halls of Congress and become activists and aggressors in the halls of Congress, or we organize, some other shit. You know what I'm saying? To get what we want. Because regardless of whether America wants to fall by choice or by force, America's going to fall. Because we're already showing signs of a failing empire. So, Derek Chauvin going to jail, I guess, for accountability reasons, it's okay. He's a white man. White men don't get held accountable most of the time, especially if they're in positions of power, especially if they're upholding and working for the state and upholding white supremacy and, keeping the status quo intact. They usually don't get held accountable. So, 2 claps for the 22 and a half years in which if George Floyd was still here, he would have probably lived past that. So 2 claps for that. But that shit is not good enough. Real justice and real accountability looks like George Floyd still being here. And real justice and real accountability looks like now repairing the fucking communities that y'all have systematically destroyed on purpose for your own fucking gain. And continue to act like you're not doing it. Continue to gaslight us and to acting like, racism is all bullshit. And honestly, you can't gaslight Black people into believing that racism is bullshit, but you sure as hell have gaslighted these white conservatives. And that shit right there is the shit that we're trying to dismantle. So to wrap up this whole thing, critical race theory, we need that because these white people need to understand that when we're talking about infrastructural racism, we're talking about structural racism, we're talking about all these different things that are happening to us, there's a historical basis for that. And that shit needs to be taught. Period. Derek Chauvin going to jail. It's not about us being ungrateful. It's about the fact that that shit is not good enough. If over 1,000 people since he, killed George Floyd have been killed by the fucking police, and 1/3 of all murders committed by a stranger in this fucking country are committed by the fucking police. No, it's not good enough. I'm ungrateful. Fuck that. Period. Yeah. So that's all I got to fucking say. Goddamn. Fuck this shit. Fuck the jails. Burn all that shit down and free all them niggas. Period.
Yeah, them niggas ain't nothing but slaves of capitalism anyway. And if they ain't free, we ain't free. But I want to thank everybody for coming out. All my beautiful people.
But yes, definitely. Rome, please tell people where they can find you, what the fuck you got going on before we get up out of here.
Shit, y'all niggas can't find me nowhere because the FBI on my head, so I'm out. No, I'm playing. No, but shit, y'all can catch me on Twitter, man. I don't want to fucking run though. I'm about to be in Seattle in a minute. I'm thinking about hitting Seattle, DC, and then California, if I can do that shit like that. But you can catch me on Twitter, Unholy Rome, on YouTube. Look as a Black Atheist, and Left-Handed Politics on Twitch. But I don't be on none of that shit, and do not expect updates because I do not. I don't do my job.
Anyway. Rome does do his job. He does it very well. Anyway, where can we find Afeni? Right. So, all of my tags are red is Ari. Red with 2 D's is Ari. That's my Instagram. That's my Twitter. That's my Haps, and that's my Cash App. So if you're white and if you learn something, cash at me some money. Period. This education is not free. But I'm just joking, y'all. Also, I will be sort of. I also will be starting my own podcast in a couple of weeks as well. It's going to be called Political Propaganda. It's going to be on Saturday mornings at about 11:30. So please follow the Instagram. Not follow the Instagram, follow the Twitter. I think Twitter is Abolish Polly on Twitter. And yeah, I was so serious about those reparations though, white people. Go ahead and cough those up. Period. All right, y'all. Well, yeah, it's been real, and we'll catch you all next week.
Man it up.